Alright, this is Justin with Minor Matters here. We're officially unboxing our Game of Drones UAV Hiro kit. We splurged with the clear, thought it would be fun to do some intelligent lighting effects later, dazzle the opponent or whatever. But anyway, it comes with basically a clamshell design, which is fairly easy to assemble. We're assuming came with all the components. We bought the ready to fly kit. Basically, we just got to add the controller, which we already purchased from Amazon. We have a Spectrum AR6210 6-channel. We're pairing it up with the Spectrum GX9 I use for everything else. This kit comes with the KK2 HC. It doesn't have some of the more advanced features like GPS or whatever you might find on some of the other kits, but this is specifically for crashing. So I don't really want a GPS unit on this, because GPS units end up looking like this. That's from this thing doing the disco robot on top of its head. So I imagine this is going to be doing a lot of that, so I don't want to really damage any more GPS units than I have to. So that goes. Came with all the extra ECSs and ASCs and whatever props, and I guess this is the motor pack. So let's get this box out of the way. Like the pizza delivery box. If they had actually used a pizza box, I think would have been hilarious. If they just got generic, like, you know, Chino's pizza or something, so it'd be like, oh, pizza, and then it's actually the drone. Fun stuff. Or maybe if they double stacked it and delivered it with a pizza, that would probably be better. The deluxe kit. Got some RCMC 2212 10,000 kV motors, like the green and black's kind of nice. I think I see some sort of directions I can immediately throw away. Let's see here. Shipping list, I got stuff. Nice little hand signature. I like when people sign stuff. I don't know. When we got our first 3D printer, it was signed, and that we framed that thing. But, you know, it means something. Service. Saying, hey, when you put this thing together, don't use Loctite or any sort of screw adhesive on the motor mounts. The chemicals react with the frame. So you think you're doing good, doing bad. So don't use Loctite. Check. Got a nice power distribution board already pre-wired and everything. It's one of the reasons I like this kit. Maker Faire is in a week, so I wanted to fly something that was ready to go. Didn't need a lot of extra work, so this is all the plugs ready to go. ECSs are all pre-wired as well. ESCs, whatever. Let's see. There's the speed kits. So it looks like they're sending out RCMC 30 amps with Simon K firmware loaded. This one's got the BEC. It looks like they're all BECs. It's great. Alright, I got the frame assembly wraps and zip ties. So this is one of the things I really liked about this frame was that it's not overly complicated. You just zip tie it together, you slap these little rubber grommets on here on the edges, and you're good to go. Compared to one of the hovership like MHQ frames, you know, like replacing an ECS in here takes me about 45 minutes to tear this all down and put it all back together. So I'm looking forward to something a little more battle designed and ready to rock. So anyway, so we got everything unpackaged here. We're going to go ahead and get into some assembly and some soldering. So we'll just stick to the time lapse and we'll check back in when we're done. Alright, so we're back. We're finished with our Game of Drones Hiro build. Truth be told, read the directions. I had the wrong motors in the wrong locations for the cross threading. So that was a little interesting. I hadn't had that before. It's a nice upgrade, the cross threads, so the props don't come off quite as easily. That's great. So when we mounted the motors and everything, and then realized that the cross threads themselves are replaceable from motor to motor. So I didn't need to do that even. So, you know, lessons learned as part of buying and building your own, as you learn those lessons, the hard, painful, and long way that you remember it forever. Anyway, so the build itself was pretty easy. I think the whole thing went together in about 30 minutes. I went and OCD'd out a little bit on the wiring and getting everything like as neat as possible or whatever, probably another hour. You know, mileage may vary. The KK 2.0 was new to me, so it took a little while to set that up. I just really understand what I was doing. I'm used to kind of the NASA setups, which are, you know, PC based or whatever, so those are pretty easy. This honestly was pretty easy as well, and I can see myself using these in the future for other builds, which is nice. Binding, as you saw, went well, so there was no problems with any of that, and we've got all the channels set up. I'm using this back channel here to basically select the different, what they state here as self-leveling on. So I just threw that on the aux channel so that I can, you know, have some more control over that for training or whatever. The safe level off mode is pretty aggressive. I was impressed with, like, you know, the level of control I had. We're flying indoors, so that gets a little dangerous. So I don't do that often, so it's nice to have the switch. I've already burned a battery, flies great, performs well. I'm looking forward to combating this thing next weekend. In the meantime, we're going to be breaking some props and showing some footage of that here coming up. So stay tuned for the rest of the video.
Okay.
Grandkids could play with that one. And a lot, maybe a couple things.
Battery's dying. I'm full throttle right now.